Thank you again, everybody, for joining us today, Thursday, San Diego time, 10 a.m., 8 p.m. in Kenya, 7 p.m. in South Africa, and I'm not sure what time it is in London. But anyhow, thank you for joining, everyone. We've been talking this month about systems and processes in building a network, okay? This is an opportunity training or opportunity meeting. So if there's anybody brand new for the very first time that has never had an opportunity meeting or heard an opportunity meeting, please raise your hand. Raise your digital hand so we know that you're new, because we always want to make sure that our brand new guests, when we're having an opportunity meeting, that we go straight into the opportunity meeting. Whereas if everyone's already involved and signed up, and we don't have any new guests right now, we're going to go more into the training side of this, okay? But I've been talking all month, raise your hand if you're brand new, please. I've been talking about systems and processes. And there's a difference between the two. My goal, and I feel that my job now, is to help everybody become extremely great, awesome, effective networkers. What's a networker? It's someone who has developed some skills to develop relationships with people and build a network, you see? And I consider networking, this kind of networking, very different than those that get on Instagram and YouTube and have YouTube channels, okay? Because you can be an influencer, but that doesn't mean you're a networker. You're not developing those relationships with people. I'll give you an example. Kevin and I. Kev, how long have you and I been working together now?
Valentine's Day, 1998.
25, going on 25 years. We're on our 25th year. All right. That's because of the relationship we have. All right. You know, when I'm up in Utah, Kevin and I get together. When Kevin's down here, he's up in my house, you know, or we go to the beach, whatever. But the point, we've traveled the world together. We've been throughout Asia, Africa, you know, together. So the point is, networking is different because you develop relationships, you work with your people. So to be an effective networker, understand one extremely important rule: upline serves the downline. If you want to have a great network, be a good servant, serve your people. And I'm not bragging, but I do feel that I've done a pretty good job over 25 years of serving my people. I've traveled to 106 countries. I've done meetings all over the world, and it's been wonderful. Imagine traveling around the world. You've got wonderful relationships. I've been to the national park in Nakuru with Dr. Ogina, and I've traveled actually around Africa with Jacinta, Dr. Gina, and some others up to Kitale and Kakamega and Kisumu, and just all around doing meetings. All right. I've done the same thing in the Philippines, throughout Asia, Korea. I traveled by car all throughout Korea. I've been to Tyler, Texas with Jay Michael and Judy and had dinner and lunch and together. I've been up to Toronto with Claudia and had dinner and lunch, you know? So the point is this, and I've been to London many times, right? Haven't met Anastasia in London, but hey, when I go through there next time, Anastasia, you know, let you know, and we'll get together and have lunch, you know? So the point is this: you serve your people, you develop the relationships, and they stay with you. Now, why do they stay with you? It's like a family, it's a community. People love For Life because of the products. When you've got a great product that you can share with people, that brings value to their life, a product that has an impact, a positive impact on their health, their wellness, and then they understand the product, that's unique, it's different. It's different. Transfer factor is different. And we're going to get into that in just a minute. And you combine that with the culture of service, a culture of science. That's David Lisenby's really his forte. David Lisenby's strength really is the science. Everything that For Life does is based on real science, real data. You'll always notice in the videos, it says, you know, third-party validation or third-party scientific studies or peer review studies done by outside sources, not for life. All right. Why? Because they want validation from other institutions that validate what they are saying, what claims they're making. Right. Patents, over 80 patents now For Life has on their products. Now, all of that combined with the culture of together building people, culture of family, a culture of service. I'll give you an example of For Life's culture of service. I've been to many conventions in 42 years now of network marketing. I've seen some crazy things at conventions. I was with a company one time back in the 80s where I saw some fist fights going on because someone stole a distributor from another distributor. It was insane what was happening. That's not a culture I want to be part of. You go to For Life convention, guess what we do on Saturday mornings? You might be stuffing backpacks for a couple of hours for children that need backpacks with school supplies, or building bicycles for kids that can't take a bus to school, and so they have a bike to get to school, things like that. Or it could even be donating to the Foundation for Life, where we have projects all over the world. If you're curious to see the projects, if one of you wants to put in the chat, foundationforlife.org, O-R-G, you can see all the countries around the world where For Life has had service projects, from building orphanages, so to building schools and farms for women and children with AIDS in South Africa. So the reason I'm making this point is it gets back to, I feel my responsibility is helping everyone by mentoring, teaching, inspiring, being a good example, a good ambassador on how to be a great networker. You can lose money, you can lose health, you can lose freedom. There's a lot of things you can lose in life, and sometimes it's beyond your control. Look at COVID. We all lost our freedom. Was it anybody's fault? No. Well, maybe it was. I don't think they know yet. But the point is that we all lost our freedom because of COVID. There's one thing you can't lose, though. Your skills. You can never lose your skills. And even when, and look at how adaptable we are. We're all put in our homes, can't go anywhere, you can't travel, you got to wear masks everywhere, nobody knows who you are, all right? And yet we adapted. Thank heavens we had internet. Can you imagine having COVID with no, I can't imagine what the Spanish flu was like back in 1918 when you had to stay home, couldn't go anywhere, and you didn't even have the luxury of nobody television or anything, let alone internet. We had Zoom. Everyone got on Zoom, and we adapted. We started doing our virtual meetings. Okay. Let me talk about that for a minute here. Raise your hand if there's anybody new here, and put in the chat. Cloud, keep an eye on the chat. If someone's new, I really want to know. We have a yes from Anastasia. Is Anastasia new? Is this your first time, Anastasia?
I think she was saying yes to 6 p.m. in the UK.
Okay.
Anastasia has been in our Mentor Monday. She is
Okay.
Trisha's
That
guest.
sounds familiar. Maybe she said yes to having lunch when I go to London.
That too as well, yes.
Okay, wonderful. So the point is developing relationships. I want to talk on this real quick about networking and the relationship side. Live meetings, being present, out doing a meeting, whether it's in a house like this. Let me get on with my phone real quick. I want to show you what's going on in Brazil right now. I should always get on Zoom with my phone because I know I'm going to end up using my phone. One quick second, you guys. 55470 join. Okay. I just want to share this with you. Some of the Brazil groups that I've got that are also part of Kevin's organization. Oh, I'm sure you all know where Brazil is, South America. Start broadcast. So I'm just going to do my WhatsApp and just show you what they're out doing. All right. There's no substitute for a live meeting, being present with the people. You can't, there's no emotion in Zoom, you guys. I mean, I do my best to try to, give some emotion, but I can't feel your emotion. Maybe you can feel mine a little bit, but trust me, if we're together in a live situation somewhere and I'm presenting, it's night and day. you see, and that's where the relationship development comes in. That's where you really get to use your skills on talking to people and establishing and developing friendships and then relationships with trust. So gaining friendships and gaining trust with people as they get to know you. So you can see my phone, correct? I assume y'all can.
Yeah, we can.
Okay. So this is Leandro right here. He sent this to me this morning. This is some of the new people that he's got. He just signed up. All right. So they are, some of them were given, it's funny, some are given the peace sign, some are doing the 4. Gregory's already been signed up for a few weeks, so he gets the 4, for life. But these are all brand new people, Let me go to another one here. This is Anderson, sent me this yesterday. This is one of our new distributors, just signed up a couple of weeks ago. Not a lot of people, because this is the first meeting, very first one. This gentleman's only been signed up a couple of weeks to do a presentation.
Motivo pelo qual lutar. E é por isso que eu te pergunto nessa noite: qual é o seu sonho? Talvez o seu sonho seja, por exemplo, andar de carrão, ganhar muito dinheiro.
That young guy's 28 years old, and he had a team of 20,000 people in another company that he's bringing over into For Life slowly, but he's planning right now. He's been involved only for 2 weeks, but actually July 1st is going to be when he's really launching his For Life business. Here's another one right here. This is from Salvador, Brazil, all right, with Anderson. This is where David and Bianca Lisenby, by the way, lived when they were serving their mission as missionaries in Brazil. So the point I'm making is, again, there's no substitute. Let me stop sharing the screen here. Stop. There's no substitute for the live meetings, you guys, okay? When you're presenting, whether it's live, you're with someone, you're in a home, all right? You're in a hotel room, wherever you are. If there's a group of people, I always go through the presentation, A, B, C, D, all right? It's very canned, if you will. It's prepared and it's programmed, meaning that I'll talk about the company. Of course, first of all, I welcome everyone. Thank them for coming in, listening. We're going to talk about our company today. We're going to talk about our products, transfer factor being our main science, and even maybe gold factor, if you have gold factor available, which you do in Africa, you have gold factor. We're going to talk about an opportunity that could change your life if you want it to, all right? And hopefully at the end of this, you'll see why. And I go right through those. And then how to join, how to get signed up, how to get the link or the website, and how to get started. So again, welcome. Talk about the company, talk about the product, talk about the opportunity, and how to get started. All right. Now, when I'm one-on-one with someone, or even one-on-two, a small group, could even be 3. Once I start having 4 or 5, 6, then it gets a little different, because I want to address their needs. All right. Understand something. If you want to win someone's friendship and trust, address their needs. What is it that they need? Okay. Now, I think it would be pretty safe to say most people need to make some extra money, right? Not everybody is financially independent or wealthy, where they don't have to work anymore for the rest of their lives. So if you say, hey, I have actually found a way, there's people making a lot of money with this amazing product called Transfer Factor. You ought to see what they're doing with this, right? Most people would be interested in that, but it's very possible that their needs might be related to health, where they have a health condition that they're trying to figure out how to take care of. So once you understand their needs, you can address them. It's a lot easier to understand someone's needs when you're one-on-one. Just get to know them, Now, if they're not open with you about what their needs might be, or you just don't know, then you have to go A, B, C, D. And then they'll start asking questions, okay? Understand, listening is a key part of being a great networker or developing your business. It's a key part of developing your business, all right? So let's talk today. I'm going to kind of go through as if we're talking one-on-one. I'm not going to go through the entire, showing the entire PowerPoint, all right? Because I want to share with you what I do when I'm with people. All right. One-on-one, one-on-two, one-on-three. And I'm talking. All right. First of all, I tell them a little bit about myself if they don't know who I am. And that happens a lot, by the way. I could be at the dog beach with Odin. I could be down at the park. I could be with one of my kids. Back in the day when they were playing baseball, we were at the baseball game. I meet someone. It happened recently at the restaurant with Gabby. I met the server. I was at Home Depot buying something for my house the other day. Talked to someone there. Talking to people is a simple thing to do if you develop the habit, right? If you have the discipline to develop that habit that when you're out and about in your daily activities, you mingle with people. All right. And trust me, you start to get really good at it. And it's kind of fun. People are generally friendly. All right. But when I talk to people, I start about the company, and I'm a bullet point talker. What's a bullet point talker? I touch on bullets. I've been with the company now for 25 years. Maybe you can say I've been with the company. I just joined them for a few months ago. I'm really excited about this company. We're a 25-year-old company, multinational company, 4Life Research. You probably never heard of them. 4Life is all over the world. 4Life has got these products that are just amazing products. They're a debt-free company. And when I talk about the company, by the way, it's not always the first thing I talk about if I'm just getting to know somebody. But if they ask me what I do, I'm a networker. What's a networker? I work from home. I represent a company, 25-year-old company all over the world, multinational. I build an international business right from my home. And I teach people to do the same thing. A lot of people want to know how to do that. Trust me. That comment right there, people want to know. 25-year-old company, multinational company, you're building right from home, all right? Unique products, patented products, debt-free company with, I think we have now probably in our product line, close to 100 products total. When you combine everything, a lot of products. So I mentioned the company. Then I love to talk about transfer factor. And this is kind of what today's training is about mostly, is the product. All right. You guys, we all need to be experts on transfer factor. All right. We're transfer factorologists. All right. We're just transfer factor experts. Why? Because very few people have heard of transfer factor. And the more you can tell people about it and the more you understand it, the better you get at talking about it. All right. So practice and then perform. That means get out there. There is no better education than experience. Experience is the best education you can get. All right. So when I talk about transfer factor, I love to tell people I represent a company and we market this technology, this product called transfer factor. Have you heard of transfer factor? 99 out of 100 people are going to say no. What's transfer factor? Well, it's a health and wellness product. It deals with people's health. And we've learned now through technology, we can actually transfer immune information. It's the only thing on the planet. And here's a great comment. What's transfer factor? It's the only thing on this planet that can literally transfer immune knowledge, educating your immune system to recognize global threats, and educating your immune system to respond to those threats and remember those threats. We call it the 3 R's. There's nothing else in the world that can do it. There's no drug, there's no vitamin, there's no mineral, there's no herb or plant or medicine in the world that can do that. Only transfer factor. And guess what? We have the patents on this technology. And people are going crazy sharing this with people around the world because it's accessible to anybody. Anybody can get it pretty much. All right. When you talk like that, understand it's not always what you say, but how you say it. I'll repeat that. It's not always what you say, but how you say it. If you say something with enthusiasm and conviction, meaning that you spent some time maybe practicing in the mirror or practicing with your dog, or practicing with your kids or whoever, the point is, the more you practice, the more you say it, the better you get at it. So when I talk to people, I love telling them about something I have that no one else has that I can share. And guess what? Make a lot of money doing it. So again, transfer factor. It's the only thing on the planet that can transfer immune knowledge from a host to a recipient, educating your immune system to recognize threats, respond to those threats. What does respond mean? Activating your immune system, creating an immune response towards that threat, and then remembering the threat. But understand, the remembering part has a life to it. Give an example. And I love to use examples or analogies. So I'm going to give you an analogy on recognizing the threat and recognizing and responding, and then remembering the threat. Let's do the recognize and respond first. And this is fun, okay? I'm full of one-liners, by the way. Involvement creates commitment. There's a one-liner. You involve the person you're talking to, all right? And it creates more commitment, whether it's in a presentation or in serving your people and working with them. Get them involved, okay? Involvement creates commitment. So when I'm talking to someone for fun, I would say something like, Anastasia, you know, we'll say we're talking, right? And I'm telling her about transfer factor for the first time. So let me give an example of how transfer factor works. Anastasia, let's say that you went into the post office and you're sending a parcel and you're on your way out of the post office, and there on the wall, there is a wanted poster. And it says, wanted, terrorist, Dave Daughtrey. And there's a picture of me, dead or alive, $1 million reward. And you see that, and you glance at it and go, oh, that's interesting. Don't think much about it. The next day, Anastasia, leaving the supermarket. You've done some grocery shopping. You're on your way to your car, and you hear a voice. And the voice says, excuse me, ma'am, do you know what time it is? And you look at your watch, and then you look at the voice, and it's me, Dave Daughtrey. And all of a sudden, you remember that poster from yesterday or the day before that you recently saw. So it's fresh in your mind still. How are you going to feel? I bet you anything, you're going to feel nervous at first. Now, a lot of thoughts might go through your head. Fear, because I'm a terrorist, dead or alive. But you might think of the $1 million reward, dead or alive. All right. Whatever you're thinking, here's the point. Because you recognized the threat, you can respond. You see? Now, what your response might be, I don't know. You might throw all your groceries at me, a can at a time. You might jump in your car and try to run me over. You got me dead. Now you can get your $1 million reward. The point is you can respond. All right. But guess what's going to happen over time? Do you think if you saw me a year after you saw the poster, you would remember or recognize me? Probably not. The same thing applies to education. I'll bet you can't remember everything you learned in mathematics in school. If you studied trigonometry or calculus or algebra, I bet you don't remember all the formulas today, unless you're a school teacher and you've been studying it for the last umpteen years. Transfer factor is the same way, because we have cells in our body that die every second. Your body is generating new cells to replace the cells that died. That includes your immune cells. So these cells require continual education. And that's a question I get answered a lot. Do I have to take this, for a month or for a year, for the rest of my life? So I like to equate or relate it to vegetables, exercise, sleep. Can I just sleep for a week straight and say I've got enough sleep for a month? I'm good now. I banked it all? No. Can I eat a bunch of broccoli and cauliflower and asparagus, for a month and say, I've eaten enough for the rest of my life, I'm good to go? No, you can't do that. The same way with transfer factor, if you want to keep your immune system educated. So what we've done at For Life, we've combined transfer factor. By the way, what is transfer factor? I forgot to give you all the definition. It's a messenger molecule. It is literally a messenger molecule that transfers immune knowledge from a source to a recipient. And For Life has the patents to identify the source, isolate the molecule, and extract it for human consumption. We can get it in liquid, we can get it in powder, we can get it in capsule, you can get it in chewable, you can get it in spray, you can get it in gel, you can get it in gummy bear candies. All right, so there's a lot of different ways to deliver transfer factor into your body. But what we've done at For Life, we have combined transfer factor with other components or key ingredients, such as this. I love Rio Vita. You know, I'm running out of my gummy bears. I pop these in my mouth during the daytime because I get my transfer factor and antioxidants, blueberry, pomegranate, elderberry, grape, a lot of powerful antioxidants along with my transfer factor. I might drink Energy Go Sticks. I know Kevin drinks a lot of these. Energy Go Sticks throughout the day. I get my transfer factor along with yerba mate. I love yerba. I was drinking yerba mate back in 1979 and 1980 when I lived in South America. They drink it every day, mate. It's great. Yerba mate, you've got your maca, you've got your guaraná from Brazil. They all give you a nice, consistent, great energy with no crash. Forget the Red Bull, forget the Monster, forget drinking 20 cups of coffee in a day. Drink some Energy Go Sticks. Then we've got targeted transfer factors that target systems. Now, we don't talk diseases, and I'll get into that in just a minute. The remember part, I talked about to recognize and respond. The remember part was about you, when you're using that analogy, that example, that's about going back in time when you were, in high school. Do you still remember everything? No, you don't. Your immune system is the same way, okay? Let's talk about targeted transfer factors. We don't talk about diseases. Why? Because transfer factor doesn't cure anything. Transfer factor doesn't cure. Because I get that a lot. Does it cure this? Does it cure that? I've got somebody that's got this problem. Does it cure it? No. But we talk systems, cardiovascular system. We've got a product that targets that. It addresses the cardiovascular system. The nervous system with Recall and the brain. Reproductive system with Melpro for men, Belviv for women. Respiratory system with transfer factor lung. All right. So we've got a lot of these different systems of the body. All right. Well, what cures a person? If you got a cold or the flu, the common flu, and you didn't do anything, just had some chicken soup, got some rest, and it went away, are you cured? Yeah. What cured you? You didn't take any drugs, didn't take any special medicine. You had some chicken soup. Did the chicken soup cure you? No. It might have helped you make you feel good. It's a nice little remedy, but your immune system cured you. That's its job. Your immune system's job is to keep you cured throughout your entire life. Healthy immune system, strong immune system, a lifetime of being cured. Now, there's three things in life I know that people aspire to live. They hope to live. One, a healthy life. No one's ever told me they want to live a life of disease and illness and be sick all the time. Number two, financial independence. Having a life of financial freedom and not even having to stress or worry about finances, you can contribute. Don't have to worry about survival anymore. Live a life of contribution on survival. And number three, happiness. Well, we've got two of the three that we can offer. We can help you establish or maintain good health. Not everybody's sick. I get that now and then. So, well, I'm not sick. You know what? Let's keep it that way. Do you believe in prevention? Do you believe in eating good, getting some exercise, getting your sleep, and living a healthy life? Do you live the lifestyle that would dictate living a healthy life? If you believe in that, we have something for you to help you with your antioxidants and Rio Vita, your Energy Go Sticks, or if you want a full regiment, one of my favorite products, I just took mine this morning every day, Right Start. I take Right Start. Why? Look at the side of the box of Right Start. Open up your For Life app, go to the media library when you have a moment, pick Right Start, and look at the product profile. It's loaded with everything from lutein for the eyes and your essential fatty acids and selenium, which everybody needs a tiny amount of selenium, very important. All right. But everything is packed in one package. So you get a full regimen with your Right Start. So that's my favorite. When somebody says, well, I'm healthy. Great. Do you take anything? Now, I do run into people now and then. So I don't take anything. I smoke every day. I feel great. There are people like that. You guys understand, the way you change the world is a person at a time, and it begins with the people that really want to do something, and sometimes the others will follow. But the point is this: most people want to live a healthy life, right? We've got everything from energy, and then there's the skincare. So you got energy glow sticks, you got antioxidants, you got digestive products for the gut, where your immune system begins, by the way. Isn't that interesting that, it's been one of the recent discoveries? The immune system begins in the gut, your microbiome. And Claudia is a microbiome expert. All right. Claudia knows a lot about microbiome and maintaining good gut health. I do that every day. I take my prebiotics and my postbiotics, my pre, pro, and postbiotics. I take those throughout the day. My diet even includes that. Okay. So why? Because I want to have the energy of a 20-year-old when I'm 80. I want to be out having fun and doing this. I want to be talking to people on Zoom and out live traveling the world presenting when I'm 80. I'm 63. So transfer factor. Understand what it is, where it comes from. Now, I mentioned it's the only thing on the planet that transfers immune knowledge, education from a host to a recipient. What's the host? You're the recipient if you take it. But who's the host? So raise your hand if anybody wants to jump in here with me, because I know I can just go on and talk and talk. Claudia, you already know the answer to that one. J. Michael, I'm sure you know as well. Anastasia, awesome. All right. Coming from us from the UK, Anastasia, who's the host?
Is it the cow?
The cow and the chicken.
And the chicken.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Gabby and I, one time, we went to convention. They had a party. We dressed up as cow and chicken. All right. In fact, I was a chicken. We did that at the last one. Claudia, I think, has a video of us. I was the chicken, and I was doing a chicken fight. They call it a cockfight, with someone else who was dressed as a chicken. We're having fun at conventions, playing around. But anyhow, here's my point. The cow and the chicken. Well, why cow and chicken? First of all, it would be pretty weird and irresponsible going around asking pregnant mothers if we can actually get some of their transfer factor molecules. All right. We all know it comes from colostrum. All right. It's not colostrum. And here's another fun fact about transfer factor. It is not colostrum. So if somebody says it's a colostrum, no, it's not colostrum. Colostrum is one of the sources, but it's not colostrum. It's a molecule that is derived from colostrum. In other words, when the pregnant mother is getting ready to give birth, the colostrum contains trillions of the messenger molecules because she's going to provide food or nutrition to the baby. At the same time, she's now going to pass her immune knowledge and immune wisdom. And we're going to talk about wisdom in just a minute here. Immune knowledge she's going to pass to the baby. Now, here's one of the most recent discoveries of transfer factor. Transfer factor was discovered in 1949 by Dr. Sherwood Lawrence. Look it up on the internet. Just go to Google, put H as in Henry, Sherwood Lawrence. Wikipedia. The guy's got his own Wikipedia site. He's dead. And the greatest discovery was transfer factor. He discovered it. It's a Wikipedia. Read about it. All right. 1949. But it was later they discovered that molecule is identical. And I will repeat, identical in mammals. What's a mammal? A mammal is an animal that produces milk for its offspring. So where's the best place to get your transfer factors? From a very clean source, like us humans. We try to keep our houses clean. You clean your windows, you clean your carpet, you clean, your dishes, you clean your sink. No, we don't want germs around. Guess what? You want transfer factor that's loaded with knowledge. Where do you get the knowledge? Out there in the muck. If I get transfer factor from water buffalo, I would do it. All right. Get transfer factor from, a lion. We get it from cows, and avian sources also contain transfer factors. Why? First of all, cows are very accessible. They're out in the muck. They've got bacteria galore, viruses traveling around. All right. When COVID hit, I told one of the 4Life executives, I said, it's too bad we can't ship a bunch of cows over to the Wuhan lab and inhale a bunch of COVID, develop the transfer factors, come back, have the cow get pregnant, and then get its a colostrum and have those transfer factor messenger molecules. But that's where we get one of our sources, the cow, easily accessible. And we'll be doing eventually, I predict this, and we're already doing it in some areas, using international cows. All right. In India, they're already, encapsulating transfer factor in India. I see it happening in Brazil, places around the world where 4Life, because the raw material is easily accessible. Here's where the patents come in. The patents come in isolating, and this is the key. You guys, this is the difference between colostrum and transfer factor, okay? The patents come in, not in the colostrum, because you can get colostrum anywhere, all right? In fact, in Kenya, you could probably go out to, a farm where there's wild cows, and the farmer, gives you colostrum for free. Because the farmers, they don't know what to do with colostrum. They can't sell it as milk. It's not milk. So they usually throw it away because there's too much for the calf. Calf can't have all mother's colostrum. It's way too much. Think about it. It's like liquid gold for us. The patents come in when you isolate the molecule. So first you have to isolate it. Then you got to figure out a way to extract it, get that molecule out and keep it bioactive. Why? What's bioactivity? It's a living molecule. It actually is a bioactive molecule that creates an immune response when you take it. And how quickly does it create the immune response? Can anybody answer that one? How quickly does 4Life transfer factor create? Kevin held his fingers up. 2 hours. Within 2 hours, clinically proven, within 2 hours of activating your immune system, creating that immune response. So again, I'm real big on examples or analogies. So with transfer factor, I like to say this: it's not colostrum, but the molecules are derived from colostrum. Give you an example. In the ground, in the earth, there's something called crude oil. Some people call it petroleum, right? They drill to get it, all right? Well, when you take that petroleum, if I put that in the gas tank of your automobile, your fuel tank, what will it do to your car? It'll kill it. Your car won't run by putting crude oil into your fuel tank. But you have to have crude oil to get the fuel, don't you? Yeah, there's a process it goes through. And then if I were to take the fuel from your tank of your automobile and go down to the Nairobi, I think it's Kenyatta airport, and I were to put the fuel from your car into an airplane, jet, will it fly? No, because there's a further process it has to go through to have that jet fuel. If I took jet fuel from an airplane and put it into a space rocket that's going to go to Mars, will it launch? No, because it requires rocket fuel. That's a process that's even more refined. That's transfer factor. It goes through the refinery. But understand something. Transfer factor is a lot more difficult than rocket fuel because you've got to maintain its bioactivity. And every bottle of transfer factor has a lot number on it. I don't know if you can see the lot number, but it's there. All right. There's a lot number. That lot number is every lot is tested for its bioactivity, that it's active. Did you see that new video that's been going around showing the activity of transfer factor with natural killer cells? How the natural killer cells go after a threat much quicker and they're more active in the presence of transfer factor than with no transfer factor. It's a new video. It's been going around. All right. And it should be in your 4Life app now. So again, 4Life has the patents to isolate, extract, refine this molecule for human consumption. Now, last thing we want to talk about transfer factor, and then we'll finish up if there's any questions, all right? Wisdom. I mentioned wisdom earlier. And this is what's so awesome about transfer factor. It's extremely smart. Your immune system is designed to turn on when there is a present threat or a threat present in your body. Okay? Or even on your body, on your skin, maybe. Your immune system should activate. But what happens when that threat is eliminated? Your immune system should relax, calm down, chill. But guess what? That is also a function that the immune system can forget. It forgets to relax. And it happens generally as you age. Isn't that interesting? Your memory goes as you age, and then your immune system's memory also kind of goes as you age. All right? Well, transfer factor keeps your immune system smart and wise, when to turn on and when to turn off and relax. Now, I like to use a thermostat as an example. I'm in my office, in my home office. This is my home office. I love my home office. Got a big screen TV in front of me. You know, I got my halo light. I got my Odin right here next to me. All right, always chilling with me. I have to show Odin now and then, you know, but I got my door open today to my balcony. All right. Beautiful day out in San Diego, nice weather. Now, if it starts to get too hot, I'll close the door. The thermostat's going to kick on. If it gets too cold, I'll close the door and the thermostat's going to kick on. What is the responsibility of that thermostat on the wall? To turn on when it's hot and cool the room down. To turn on when it's cold, to heat up the room. It regulates the temperature in my room. Why? So Dave can be comfortable and be efficient with his work. I mean, I don't want to be doing Zooms and I've got 5 coats on, 5 jackets, and you can't even see my face, right? And I don't want to be sweating so much. I got, you know, so the point I'm making is it regulates. So I like to use a thermostat as an example. All right. Your body, your immune system also acts like a thermostat. Turn on when there's a threat present, and when it eliminates it, relax. That's what your immune system should do. And guess what happens if your immune system forgets to do that? It keeps fighting. It stays on. Now you have autoimmune problems. They call it autoimmunity. Skin disorders, digestive disorders, respiratory disorders like asthma, things like that. Wouldn't it be wonderful if you could educate or re-educate your immune system? Your immune system is very smart. It can be an immune system, immune cells can learn, they can be taught. If you could educate your immune system to respond when necessary and relax when necessary, and you don't even have to deal with these threats. They come and they go in your life and you didn't even know it. You inhaled a virus. Didn't even, maybe you felt weak one morning. You wake up, you know, I feel a little sluggish today, you know. By the afternoon, you're feeling great. Or maybe you never even know it all. That's what life should be like. That's why I love transfer factor, because that's what it does. So understand something. Transfer factor is a messenger molecule that transfers immune knowledge or education from a host to recipient. We already know what the host is. You're the recipient when you take it. All right. It's not a product that I would call a high impact product unless you have a condition. You can take transfer factor and your immune system kicks on right away and you notice the difference. All right. Because you might have been dealing with something. And sometimes, by the way, that difference might be what you think is a negative effect, because you might feel weaker. It's called a Herxheimer's reaction. It can last up to 7 days, 10 at the most, but usually about 7 days. It's a reaction where your immune system, all of your energy is being drained because your immune system is now kicked into gear. All of those energy, or the mitochondria, all right, of your body, those your energy cells are being directed to your immune system to fight a war. All the resources are going to the immune system to fight a battle. Once the battle's over, you feel great. But during that battle, sometimes you kind of feel yucky. Well, that yuckiness can actually increase a little bit when you take transfer factor if you're dealing with a condition. Just so you know that, all right? But I don't call it a high impact product where somebody takes it and they go, wow, I felt my immune system turn on 2 hours ago. right? Generally, that's not the case. But you take Energy Go Sticks, oh yeah, you notice the difference right away. And you get your transfer factor with it. Aqua, I love Aqua. I think my skin looks great for 63 years old. Put on the Aqua, feel the difference right away, all right? Sleep Right is another good one, but people take Sleep Right. They sleep awesome at night, all right? By the way, I'm wearing this thing. This monitors my sleep. I'm trying it out. I love it. Tells you how much percentage you got of each type of sleep, REM sleep, deep sleep. That's another topic. But Sleep Right is great. So there are some high impact products. Kev, can you think of any of the other high impact type products that people can use for sampling and it has transfer factor?
Yeah. Well, you knew I was gonna go with this one. Just because if
Oh,
you're,
Boost, yeah.
you know, you do immune boost, go sticks. What I like about them is you got a bottled water, you know, which almost everybody has. They come into individual sachets, right? So because they're in the individual sachets, you'll see I've got my boost up here that I just did. I've got my energy stick right down there that I just did. I just combine them, but I like them because I just carry them on my person. If somebody's got a bottled water, I've got these like I do business cards. So if somebody's over there with the water, you know, most people are wanting to feel better, more vital, better energy, you know, are worried about their immune system functioning at a high level. So if I've got one of these on me and I see somebody at a ballpark that's getting out of bottled water, you know, they're at an outdoor concert, whatever your summer activities are, I just take one of these and say, hey, give this a shot, you know, thank me later. And then I'll pass over my business card to them. And most of the time I try to get their business card as well, so I can follow up, because if I just give them my business card, then it's 100% on them if they do the follow-up, which I don't like to, you know, rely on other people to follow up for my business. But I'll say, I'll give them my business card, ask for theirs, and then write down on the back of their business card, you know, gave an Energy Go Stick at the ballpark. And that way I could follow up and say, hey, what do you think about that? But these are great impact products for sure. Sample and sell.
There you go. Gabby, she's real big on sampling as well. She does a lot of sampling. So, you know, there's all kinds of ways you can share, you guys, but the main thing is you just have to get out and do it. All right. You know, action is what creates results. You all know this. This is one of my favorite, you know, one-liners. Knowledge creates confidence. Confidence creates action. Action creates results. Right. That's a process. You gain the knowledge by reading, even using, you know, you learn, all right, listening to people. But the best way is out there taking action. The more action you take, the more you learn and the more confident you get. And when you come from a position of confidence, you come from a position of strength. You can be talking to someone, and even when you're talking to someone, you might be talking to a friend, a family member, you haven't talked to them in a while, and all of a sudden you start talking about transfer factor, immune knowledge, natural killer cells, you know, transferring immunity from a host to recipient. It's a messenger molecule. You talk about, you know, modulating or balancing your immune system like a thermostat. You talk about global threats, and this person looks at you like, huh? That's not you. You know, where'd you learn all that stuff? Well, I've been doing something different. I decided in my life, I want to do something different now because I see other people being successful. I want to be successful. And I found a vehicle to get me to where I want to be in my life. All right. With my health, my financial freedom. And if that person's interested, wonderful. If they're not, you know what? The best thing you can do is to keep climbing the mountain of success. And guess what? I promise you, there are people that know you that eventually they will want to follow. They will want to follow you to the top. And you know what's wonderful about this business? When you get to the top, you don't stay at the top. Now, you can stay at the top by rank, making the money, getting paid, traveling the world, but you get to go back down the mountain and find some new people and take them with you again. And then you go, and that's why these pictures I showed you of Brazil, Kevin, how long ago did we really start banging out Brazil?
As far as, you know, really seeing the rubber meet the road and getting some traction, or when we first just started like putting our ear to the ground?
We
and-
started about 3 years ago. All
Yeah,
right, is when we really started putting our eyes out there.
yeah,
But as far as all of a sudden gaining, we had to go through
Oh.
COVID. We went through COVID, obviously. All right.
the last few months have been like hair on fire, like epic, and that's Dave's been plugging into leaders down there, and I think part of that too, Dave, is you had leaders, in order to duplicate, you have to, it's almost like anything else. It's like sports, right? It's like riding a bike. The more you do, the better you get, and it's repetition, right? And it's the whole Arnold Palmer thing that perfect practice makes perfect. And I think that one of the things that we're seeing there now too, Dave, is these leaders. I believe in a couple of things. And if you want to grow up, you've got to show up. And Anderson and the leaders down there are showing up. Started off 5 people on a Zoom, 10 people on a Zoom. Now you're getting triple digits on a Zoom because they stayed the course. And I had someone once tell me in this industry, he said, Kevin, you've been with the same company for 25 years. And I said, yeah. He goes, well, I guess if you can't outsell them, outlast them. That's what he said, because he was talking about some of these companies, these billion-dollar companies. And I said, well, you make a good point. I know you're kind of saying that to razz me a little bit, but we're outselling them too. We're in all these different markets. We're doing hundreds of millions of dollars after 25 years. You giving me an example of a company that went to $1 billion, rose like a rocket, fell like a rock, here today, gone tomorrow. I said, but you know what? If you think that outlasting them is like a tongue-in-cheek, almost insult, then you've talked to the wrong guy, because we are, that's our culture. It's persistent, it's consistent, it's showing up. And I think that's what we're seeing with Brazil now. They continue to show up and consistently, and it's something I've always seen with you, Dave, is you reap and you sow. And if you're planting seeds and you're nurturing the harvest, eventually that harvest is going to come, and you're not going to have enough room in the warehouse to take all the crops. And that's what's happening right now. Most people would have said after the first couple of years, oh, you know what? It's not really getting to where I need it to get to. And they it's that, have you ever seen that meme where it's the guy who's running for gold and he's got his pickaxe, and he gets there and there's just that thin layer of dirt.
Yeah. I used to play that game.
Between him and the gold, right? He turns off. It's like, hey, you don't burrow the whole tunnel and get that close to the diamonds or the gold and turn around and walk off. You got to outlast people.
Right. It's so true what Kevin's saying. And I want to mention, kind of elaborate, and then we're going to close on one thing, Kevin, talking about Brazil. You might think, well, how did you get to Brazil? How did you get to Africa? How did you get to wherever? How did you get to Claudia? How'd you get to J. Michael? Now, Kevin and I are different because Kevin used to work at 4Life. He was corporate. He worked as an employee. Now he's a Gold International Diamond distributor, right? Here's how you get to them. You ask. I'll say it again. Ask. So let me give you an example. All right. I'm on a call last week with my Peru group. No, this week, Monday. I do a kind of a private Peru meeting for some of my Peru leaders. One of my Peru leaders, the guy up at the top, by the way, I said, I made a comment. I said, there's a lot of Spanish speaking people in the United States, in this country. In fact, there's probably getting close to half and half of the population. Half speak Spanish and half speak English. I mean, in Tyler, Texas, are there people that speak Spanish now? J. Michael, I'm sure there's tons.
Absolutely. In fact, just this year with the census, Hispanic has surpassed Caucasian in the state of Texas. We have
Oh
more
my gosh.
Hispanics in the state of Texas than it's the first time in history.
Insane. In California, same way. All right. In Utah, I'm sure there's tons of Spanish speaking people in Utah. I was up in Utah recently. Trust me, there's a lot of Spanish speakers up in Utah. Here's the point. So I made this comment on the call. I said, there's a lot, what I'm telling the people in Peru, think outside the box. Remember how we say, start your business from home, work locally, but think globally. Ask. So when the guy, I already said a guy, gentleman, I said, there's a lot of Spanish speakers in Peru. You know what the comment he made? He unmuted his mic and he made a comment. He said, yeah, but how do you get to those? That's, how do you do that? How do you get to those people? You ask. So I just did this on the call. And it was a small call. We only had like 8 people. I said, I took a name. I didn't even ask. I took a name. I took one of Liliana. I said, Liliana. I said, do you know anybody that lives outside of Peru? And she goes, yeah. I said, okay, where? She goes, in London and in Portugal. And I said, do you know anybody in the United States? And she goes, yeah, I have a few friends there. I said to the gentleman, ask. I said, now, Liliana, are you signed up in For Life? And she says, yeah, I just signed up. And I said to the gentleman, is she in your downline? He goes, yeah. There you go. Right there. She knows people in the US. You ask. So she knows them, contact them. What's it going to hurt to contact them and see if they're interested? Trust me, they're not going to plot a gun and shoot you. All right. Ask. That's how you network. So the process is simple, you guys. It really is. All right. But it's work. It's not easy. There's an emotional side too, because if they say, no, I'm afraid, don't be afraid. Ask. All right. And then there's a system. The system is tell, show, try, do. Tell, show, try, do. Every day. Tell them about it. Show it to them. Show it to you guys. Show it to them. Try it. You're not going to know unless you try it. And do means to share. All right. Claudia's friend Jillian is the one that kind of put that at the end there, but really doing is sharing. You want to do it, you share it. That's what do stands for. Okay. So you guys, we're done for the day. It's been over an hour. Thank you for joining. I hope you learned about transfer factor today. Tell people about it and ask. All right. If you want to grow your business, simple process. So Claudia, if you don't mind, I'll just pass it back to you and we'll just, tie it up here. But thanks, you guys. Love you all. Get more people on next Thursday. Every single Thursday now, we've got our opportunity presentation for new people. And if it's people already signed up, I think next week we're going to go through the PowerPoint again. All right, we'll go through the PowerPoint step by step. I'm going to modify it just so y'all know. Hopefully I get it done between now and next Thursday. I want to change the part at the end where it talks about the bonuses. I want to go through real quick the different ways money is made, not just showing 2, and just bullet point each of those real fast so people kind of triggers their mind like, yeah, I can make money doing that. So that's one of the little modifications, but we'll go through the PowerPoint next Thursday. Claudia.